Yo, welcome back everybody to a brand new video here on the second channel. I just got back from LAIC, and it's now time to look at every single deck that made day 2 at LAIC. But I'm also going to do a little bit of a mini tournament report in this video, just talk about the deck I played, why I played it, and just like some of how my day 1 at LAIC went. I didn't get any CP, so I didn't want to do like a full-on tournament report, but I want to talk about why I played the deck and stuff. Then we're going to look at every single deck that got day 2 here at the tournament. Unfortunately, again, it was in the old Stellar Crown meta, not the Surging Sparks meta, so there's nothing too insane at this tournament. But there were some cool decks, nonetheless, I did well that I wanted to talk about in today's video. And, of course, if you're new here to the second channel, make sure to subscribe down below. We're on the road to 19,000 subscribers. Want to give a big thank you to everybody who came up to me this weekend, said hi, got me to sign something, take a picture with me. I met a lot of really cool Brazilian fans, and Brazil was an awesome time. It's just a great country. It was very warm down there, which is nice because, obviously, Canada's, like, super cold right now. And it's a great country in general. There's lots to do, and I had a lot of fun exploring the city and stuff after day 1 was over. So, yeah, I ended up playing Lost Box to LAIC. Yes, I know I played Lost Box. Basically, I've been sold in this deck for, like, the past week or so leading up to the tournament because I didn't want to stress about what to play to this tournament and just play something that I wanted to play and what I was familiar with, and I was like, I'm just going to play Lost Box. Also, I've been playing a lot of Pikachu Lost Box, which, you know, has kind of get me more in the mood, and then I was like, I'll just play this deck. And I was, like, happy with the deck. I think this list was fine. I don't know so much about the Raikou for, say, like, the Raikou's probably the most, like, cuttable card in the deck. I didn't really use Raikou that much this weekend, but the logic was Raikou's, like, a really flexible attacker that can help in some matchups. It's also just, you know, just very flexible. I ended up using Silene in the deck. Silene's really good. I actually used Silene a lot this weekend. In a lot of my matches, Silene ended up being pretty good. I used it a lot of times to get Colress back. I used it a lot to, I had a lot of scenarios where, like, if I flip out on Silene, I win the game on the spot. So it's, like, a very good card in the deck. I think if I would maybe run back at the tournament, like, the night before, I was considering playing Iron Thorns EX or playing Pheasantipity in the deck. So those were my two big, like, thoughts about the tournament. The night before was, like, I was like, do I really want to play this in the deck? I don't know, I just stuck with Raikou. I just was like, I'll just play the 6 Abaddon. Wouldn't mind maybe playing, like, a third Lost Vacuum in the deck. Like 3 Vacuum, 3 Pokestop, something that I really like. And, you know, I cut the Vacuum for an extra switch, but I could see 3 Vacuum being good, too, in the deck. And I was happy with this deck selection. I was fine with the deck. I started off 2-0, and then I got destroyed by a Tropicos Charizard deck, which we'll look at actually in the video very soon. And then, yeah, I just kind of like had, it's kind of like a little bit of up and down. It is Lost Box at the end of the day. You have to play well with the deck, and you also have to not have bad Lost Box luck. Two things that I think maybe coincided with each other this weekend. I don't think I played perfectly. I mean, looking back, I think I definitely could have played a lot better this weekend on the deck. But I also thought in the moment, I was like, I was playing the deck fine. I had a lot of really good sets. I played against 3 different Gardevoirs this weekend, which is crazy. I didn't expect to play against 3 Gardevoir decks. That was insane to me. I hit no Lugia. I thankfully hit no Drago. That's good. I hit no Lugia, hit 1 Raging Bolt, and I hit 3 different Gardevoir players. So Gardevoir definitely was very popular this weekend. I hit 3 of them, which is a good matchup for this deck. I know they have Klefki, which is very annoying, but believe me, the matchup's actually pretty good. Because you have Sableye, Hands, Greninja, which are very good attackers in that matchup. Yeah, so overall, I went 2-0-1 against Gardevoir. I ended up tying to a Gardevoir. We'll talk about my tie, because I was like I was still on the winning in the tournament. I hit a Gardevoir player. We went to game 3. And unfortunately, we just ended up naturally tying him. There's not much we really could have done in this situation. For starters, I didn't even hear time get called. I was so, like, zoned in on this game 3 that I didn't even hear time get called at all. I also lost track of time. I wasn't really paying attention. I just kind of forgot. And I didn't hear time get called at all. Not gonna lie, the front of the venue was kind of like, if you were farther back towards, like, the entrance, you couldn't really hear what was going on at the front, like at the back area where, like, the stage was and stuff in the match lab area. You couldn't really hear any of the announcements. Because twice in this tournament I went to time and I didn't hear time get called when I was more towards the front of the venue. So that was kind of annoying. And then on game 3 of time, I was gonna go Blood Moon KO's active Gardevoir EX. He had no Ralts in play at all, no Gardevoir, nothing. He had a Klefki and a Munkidori in play, but the problem is he can go Iono, Klefki, Iono 1, Klefki in the active on my Blood Moon, which can make things very awkward for me. So it was definitely, like, up in the air who was going to win that game, unfortunately. So it just naturally tied. I mean, there's nothing really good done about it. 3 games against Gardevoir, Lost Box. You're going to go to time. Like, the games are just going to last a long time because they're just both naturally slow decks. It is what it is. And then my last round to get points, I hit a Roaring Moon deck, Turbo Moon, which I think is a great matchup. one of your best matchups, if I'm going to be honest with you. Like, you want to see your opponent flip over a big basic deck. The problem is my opponent played Judge, which is fine. Most decks played. And then they also played a Penny in the deck. The Penny basically gave my opponent the win in game 1 because my line, game 1 I opened Iron Hands, but my line was to go, I spit into the Roaring Moon EX, and then I went Greninja 90-90 on Squawkabilly and Roaring Moon in the active, and then I was going to go Sableye for 4 prizes, and then I was going to wrap up the game with a Blood Moon or Luna. Then he Penny the Squawkabilly, and my route to victory completely just went away. And then game 2, same thing. The key turn, I needed him to not Penny. He had it in hand, unfortunately. After a Judge, actually. He went Judge the turn earlier and then just had the Penny in hand. I was like, bruh. So, Roaring Moon with Penny is kind of annoying. I didn't really know. I couldn't really do anything against that. Like, I tried my best against that. I also had a really bad turn in the last game there where I could take the first 2 with Raikou Prime Catcher on Squawkabilly, but I rolled the Pokestop, and I'm like, okay, I literally just need to not Pokestop away my only 2 lightning energy I have in the deck. That's it. So I did like a deck shuffle, whatever, after searching the deck or whatever with like a Buddy Poffin. And then before I vacuum away my Pokestop to get to 7, I was going to play it to set me up for next turn, or at least find a Super Rod or something, because I didn't have a Rod in hand. So I rolled the stop. I milled both my lightning energy, so I had no way to attack with Raikou that turn. I couldn't take 2 prizes, and effectively that lost me the game, because now there's a sitting Raikou on the bench that was easy boss food. So, very unfortunate last game of the tournament. From what I thought was going to be a good matchup and just a great time, good matchup, just ended up being a horrible time where I just got farmed by Penny. And I also had really bad Pokestop luck, too. It is what it is. You live and you learn. But yeah, if I was playing the tournament again, I'd run back Lost Box. I probably would play a different 60, but I'd run it back with Lost Box for sure. I had a good time. And again, after, not making day 1, at least I got to explore the city for the next few days and had a lot of fun doing that, hanging out with my buddies this weekend overall, and just exploring Brazil was a nice time. But yeah, looking at the day 2 decks here. So we'll keep it a little bit more brief. Again, old format, not as relevant, though, to be fair, the meta's not too different. But we'll start off, of course, we got Miloslav, who took down the IC with Regidrago. Yes, Drago won an IC. Drago has now won 3 straight tournaments in a row, which is kind of crazy. This deck is definitely BDIF of the Stellar Crown format. Is it going to be BDIF in Surgeon Sparks format? Maybe. I mean, the deck's still really good. I don't think it really does anything different in this new format. Like, I mean, it probably just stays the same. Yeah, the deck probably just stays the same in the new format. We can say the winning list here is very interesting. There's no Fezandipity in the deck, but there is Mew, but there's no Fez. There's also Gudra in the deck and Haxorus. I like Haxorus. Haxorus actually was good for this tournament because Terapagos was very popular. So it makes sense why Haxorus is in the deck. The Gudra's interesting. Gudra's really good in Mirror. We saw Miloslav win the tournament. Also, no Jamming Tower in the list. And then we saw Brent Tonneson make finals here with the Regidrago deck. I think he's been just on the same deck for like the past couple tournaments now. And he got to the finals. Unfortunately, lost in the Mirror match. Obviously, we see Brent playing the Noctowl in the deck here. Has a Jamming Tower and the Fez and everything in the deck too. And then, happily enough, we got a Goldango in top 4. I mean, Goldango, I'm not going to lie, the night before the tournament, when we were going to the venue to check in, I was debating Goldango in my head. I was like, should I just play Goldango this weekend instead of Lost Box? Like, Goldango doesn't require as much thinking. I don't have to, like, sweat as much. Also, I think Goldango has a great Gardevoir matchup, which, kind of the big story heading into this weekend was that Gardevoir was going to be a lot more popular because it was getting very hyped up, right? So I'm like, there's going to be a lot of Gardevoir. Goldango, I think, beats Gardevoir if you play a Jamming Tower. So I was, like, very, very close to playing Goldango, but I decided against it, which, honestly, looking back, I think I honestly should have just played Goldango. I'm not going to lie. Though, to be fair, I did hit a Iron Thorns round 2 with a Cornerstone Ogre Pawn in the deck, which probably would have farmed me. So I don't know. But, I mean, looking back, I still probably would have played. I don't know. Goldango wouldn't have been a bad play for the tournament. I'm happy to see it get top 4. Goldango might just be even better in the Surging Sparks meta. There's not really much different about... Well, I guess there's a few cards different. We see a Morty's Conviction in the deck. No Irida. There's also the Letter of Encouragement, which is kind of like a wishy version of Ultra Energy Search Pro. It just allows you, when something gets knocked out, you can get 3 energy out of your deck. It's a really good way to chain a knockout. It's really good against Raging Bolt specifically, where you go 1 prize board state, and then they go Knockout Gimmighoul, and then you go Letter of Encouragement for 3 energy, and it just makes it easier to get a turn 2 Make It Rain knockout. So really happy to see Goldango in top 4. And then we have another Drago in top 4. Drago absolutely just dominated the top 8 of this tournament. This is the same 62 from a Miloslav played. we see my boy Jackson Ford make top 8 at LAIC with his Secret Box Charizard deck, which I was testing against Jackson the night before, and the Secret Box was really good. I mean, just being able to use it to get, like, research, kind of the same logic as when you play with Gardevoir. It just allows you to do more stuff in a meta where you have to be a little bit faster, right? Charizard is a slower-paced deck. Same with Gardevoir. When you add a Secret Box and, like, a research and rare candy, like, engine to the deck becomes a lot more aggressive, and you actually get to play the game more often than not. You don't have to worry about Regidrago just running you over. So that's kind of the logic behind Secret Box. Really happy to see Jackson make it to the top 8 of the tournament. Of everyone we were with, I'm glad one person actually ended up doing really good in the tournament. I was really happy to see. But yeah, really cool. Jackson's list is really solid. It might be optimal Charizard. I know Gabriel Fernandez also won LAIC. Huge congrats to Gabriel. Gabriel is like actually literally the senior division of Tord. I think if you were to make a top 10 best players of all time list, I think Gabe Fernandez would legit have to be in the top 3 or top 5, because even though it's in the seniors division, like, bro is like actually killing it. But I know Gabe won with the unfair stamp Charizard build, but I do like the idea of Secret Box. If the meta is going to continue to be like super fast and aggressive, I think you probably have to play Secret Box. I think it's a really good idea. And again, and a lot of the time Charizard loses because it doesn't get to play the game, right? So very good card. Next up, we got Guardy. So at least one Gardevoir made top 8. Not surprised to see that. I mean, Henry Chow, I think, made it to the winning. And so Gardevoir was like very close to being in top 8, multiple of them. But Gardevoir is just a really strong deck for this tournament. It was very popular. I played against 3 of them. A lot of people were on it. It's a very strong deck. I think, yeah, I mean, the optimal Guardy 60, I think, if you want to play the Henry Chow builds, to figure it out. We got another Canadian here, Austin Ellis, making top 8 with Terapagos EX. Does have the Vitality Band, which I'm pretty sure was a very big help in beating the Iron Thorns he had to play against an ASIM cut. We do see Terapagos was very popular this weekend, too. Does have Manaphy in it. I know a lot of the Terapagos players were playing Manaphy or Boufflant this weekend. Yeah, Terapagos was looking pretty good for this tournament. And then we have another Drago in top 8. So yeah, just a lot of Drago. Drago dominance. I'm not surprised to see it do this well. I mean, it wasn't like there's a lot of lost box. It was just a really good play for this tournament. And, I mean, it was literally half the top 8. Kind of crazy. We got another Drago here at 9th place here outside the top 8. Again, a lot of these Drago lists just kind of same thing. But here's where things get really cool. So we got Raphael here playing Charizard Terapagos. Now, I actually played against Raph here in round 3. And I got absolutely destroyed. Like, he 2-0'd me. I got bodied. I think part of the problem was that he had Manaphy in the deck. So, like, I couldn't really go Greninja. And, like, it was just a really bad matchup. Basically, Terapagos is a good matchup for Lost Box, in my opinion. Even if they play Manaphy or Boufflant, I think the matchup is fine. The problem is when they have a Charizard in the deck, this thing is, like, really difficult because it is so tanky. Also, it's very aggressive, where it punishes you for having a 2-prizer on the board. Like, yeah, you can get punished with Terapagos for having a 2-prizer on the board, but usually you're going, like, Raikou, Vacuum, Knockout, Pidgeot, and, like, crippling their setup as much as you can. With Charizard in play, they don't really care if you're doing that because Charizard is just a massive beat stick. This deck is really powerful and really impressed me. Like, this deck was really good. I got destroyed by it. So I'm really happy to see Raphael actually ended up doing really good in the tournament. Congrats to him. Just really happy to see that. This deck is really strong. I think it might be good in this next format, maybe. We'll have to see on that one, the Surging Sparks meta. I don't know how you change the list. There's so much going on in the deck. There's so many cards you have to fit, too. It's like very heavy counts of things like 2-1-1 Dusknoir. Like, you probably can't fit too many new cards. Like, maybe play Cologne in the new format just to beat Pikachu. I don't know. Like, we already have Dusknoir in the deck. I don't know. But either way, this deck is really broken, and I think that it definitely is awesome to see it do well. We have a Thorns here in top 16. Good old Iron Thorns doing Iron Thorns things. Let's see here. We got another Drago in top 16. No surprise there. Also playing a Gudra. We got Cloth in top 16. Cloth ended up being a decent meta call because, like, it's good against Terapagos. I don't know how it does against Lugia and Gardevoir, but maybe it beats those decks. I mean, part of the engine is, you know, Cloth is a good attacker, but you also have the Pekron in the deck, which can be, like, low-key really good, too. We had a Turbo Moon here within top 16, playing the one of Baby Pekron. Now, I know there's no poison cards with it, but the idea is you can use Poison Chain and retreat lock the opponent. That was the purpose of playing the Baby Pekron in the Moon deck. And we have a couple of Zards in top 16 here. We got the Zard with Unfair Stamp and Jamming Tower, and then we got another Charizard here with, like, also the Unfair Stamp and stuff like that. Got Isaiah Bradner with the Terapagos deck here. Plays the Boufflant, similar to what Tord played. Even has, like, the Turo and stuff in the Penny in the deck, too. Then we got Fabrizio here, who's on Lost Box once again. So he played a different build from what he played at the Buenos Aires SPE, but he does have the Iron Valiant in the deck, which is kind of interesting. I mean, it's a good attacker. It can do decent damage. It has that ability where you can put more damage counters on the board. It can be good in Mirror because you can knock out Blood Moon or Selena with your own Blood Moon. And you can also use it to fix math with Sableye. Now you can Sableye 270 HP Pokemon, which is really cool. So Iron Valiant's kind of a genius idea within this Turbo Lost Zone deck. You are playing a Town Store, though, and a Future Booster. You can play Forcio, which kind of makes your Raikou a bit better, too, which is kind of cool. So really cool deck. We got another Terapagos Dusknoir here. This one does have the Manaphy in the deck. Again, Terapagos did really good this tournament. We got Henry Chow, who was able to make top 32 with the Gardevoir deck. Once again, his Turbo Guardy. And then we have another Drago here. And then we have an interesting control deck here. We have this Ogerpon Mimikyu, like, I guess Quad Mimikyu is what you call it. Does have a lot of interesting things going on in here. We see the Dionysi, which is good into Mew or Lugia. We have the Wellspring Ogerpon, which is kind of good with Sparkling Crystal because you can like make some crazy plays happen. Then there's the Blood Moon as like an attacker too that can be good. And Cramorant. Cramorant can be good just to take out any threat that threatens Mimikyu or Cornerstone Ogerpon. So cool stuff. Actually, it was on the same 60 as Alessandro and Alex. So it's kind of played the Alessandro Cremascoli deck. Kind of cool stuff. Another Dragos. One did have Noivern in the deck, which could have been pretty good in the Tropicos matchup. Another Zard here. Another Tropicos Charizard played by Pedro Patusi. That deck's kind of crazy, not going to lie. And we have another Quad Mimikyu deck here played by Alex Szymanski. Then we got another Gardevoir here. Yeah, Gardevoir doing Gardevoir things. Just really good for the tournament. Then we have our first Gouging Fire in top 32. I mean, Gouging Fire has been killing it the past couple EU regionals, so not surprising to see at least one here in the top 32. It's not a bad deck at all. Another Drago here with the Noctowl in there. We got our first Raging Bolt. So Raging Bolt didn't obviously do great this tournament, considering how good Drago was. I mean, it's surprising to see Raging Bolt not any higher, like, in the tournament, but it is Raging Bolt at the end of the day. It's just kind of like it is and is what is type deck. It can easily lose games, even though it is really powerful, and I think has the best chance of beating Regidrago. And the highest placing Lugia deck was also top 32 here. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Lugia and Raging Bolt kind of both flopped. And we have our highest placing Dragapult, too, also in top 32. I'm not surprised to see Dragapult not do as well. It's not in the greatest spot right now in this format, or that format anyways, but, you know, Dragapult's still decent. Then we got another Tropicos with the 1-1 Drago here, played by Tim Franklin. We got Alberto Conti, who was unfortunately bubbled out of top 32 with the Regidrago deck. Obviously, he did win, Gdansk recently. Got Ryan H. Nucci on Charizard here, had the Unfair Stamp, has Cologne in the deck, stuff like that. Then we got another Dragapult Dusknoir with a 1-1 Noctowl. That's an interesting idea, especially when you have the Dragapult as a Terra Pokemon. Yeah, it's a cool idea. I mean, it makes it easier to find stuff. It's like, then you have to play Pidgeot, right? You don't have to worry about Pidgeot being in the deck. It's kind of cool. Got another Terapagos deck here. Terapagos Dusknoir. Does play the Boufflant. Does have the Dusknoir. Also playing the Turo Penny. Does have a Kieran in the deck. That's new. And then also playing the Defiance Band in the deck over the Vitality Band. Got another Drago here. Another Lugia. Yeah, Lugia underperforming is a little surprising. Again, just some of the decks underperform, you know, would have been better into the Regidrago, so it's interesting to see that. We got another Cloth here in the tournament. I don't know, was Cloth good for this tournament? I don't know. I'm still yet to believe that deck is actually that great, but I guess, you know, it's doing decent in this tournament, so who knows. Another Dragapult, Pidgeot build, no Dusknoir in this deck. We got another Drago, another Tropicos, Dusknoir here, playing the Boofs. Let's see here. And we got our first Snorlax deck here. It's actually the box, or the Rotom-less Snorlax here, playing the boxed order. It does have the Sandshrew in the deck. Sandshrew is obviously a really good tech card in the mirror match and stuff. Yeah, at least one Snorlax did decent in the tournament. We got Palkia Dusknoir, another deck that didn't do as good this weekend. Considering it did win the Buenos Aires SP, I'm surprised to see Palkia Dusknoir not do as well. This build does have some interesting things in it. It is playing Spiritomb, but also playing catchers, got Counter Catcher, and one Pokemon Catcher, and a Prime Catcher. All the catchers. Got another Charizard here, just playing the Unfair Stamp and stuff. Another Lugia with the Raikou in the deck there. Another Guardy. Let's see. Then we got Alessandro Cremascoli, the control player himself, playing the Mimikyu deck to the tournament. Another Raging Bolt with the Slitherwing in there. We got another Quad Thorns. Yeah, Quad Thorns okay for this tournament too. Did almost make top 8. Another Regidrago. Let's see, another Regidrago. Play Diego Casaraga with the Haxorus in the deck there. So yeah, Haxorus ended up being decent, I guess, in the deck, just to help against Tropicos. Another Charizard with Unfair Stamp. And a high-spacing Bayonet Gardevoir here in top 64. I mean, I'm not surprised to see Bayonet underperform a little bit. I didn't think it was going to be super popular. I knew Gardevoir was going to be more popular. Every time my opponent flipped over Ralts, by the way, this week, and I was like, please don't be Bayonet. Yeah. And we got our highest-placing Lost Box here. I mean, with how dominant Drago was, I'm not surprised to see Lost Box not do as well this weekend. There were still some big players on the deck. We see this build, the highest placing build was playing the Iron Thorns and the Pheasantipity in the deck, so it did have a little bit more going on. But yeah, I did wish I played, maybe the Fez or the Thorns in the deck over the Raikou, because again, the Raikou didn't really do as much for me this weekend. We got another Snorlax here. This one is playing the Rotom, though, in the deck. Another Lugia with the Raikou in the deck. We got another Tropicos Dusknoir here. Let's see, another Charizard, played by Grant Manley. Top 64 on the dot. We got another Regidrago, and then let's see, we got a couple more Raging Bolts to look at here. Let's see if there's anything crazy going on these lists. No, just so the wing and stuff. And we got another Palkia Dusknoir played by Blake Ray. So yeah, Palkia Dusknoir not doing as well as surprising. And we got our first Miraidon here. Ooh, interesting. This Miraidon does have a lot more going on. Double Zap, that was good into Raging Bolt. And then also plays the Rotom V for some draw. And then has the Baby Thunders in the deck as a one-prize attacker here. Interesting. Yeah, does have that ability where it can't be damaged on the bench. If it's in the or your bench Pokemon can't be damaged if it's in the active. Can be good against Drago. You could prevent Kyurem. Then has a Gigantic Bolt that is 140. It's just a nice one-prize attacker that can do big damage, I guess, which is kind of neat. Another Lugia here, playing the Raikou. Another Guardy. It's more Turbo Guardy. I think there's like the optimal Turbo Guardy 60's been figured out, right? Another Raging Bolt. Another Tropicos Dusknoir here. Let's see. Yeah, it's got the Bufflon in there and the Tord build. Another Cloth. A lot of Cloth doing well. Surprising to see. We got a Cornerstone Noivern. Or Cornerstone Noivern with a Glimmora EX. Glimmora making a potential Limitless Page debut, I think. It's kind of cool to see. Interesting. Yeah, these little control decks doing good. Interesting to see for sure. Then we got another Lugia here playing Fluttermane. And we got another Goldengo in the tournament here. Happy to see Goldengo do well. As always, one made top 4 and then another one did good here. This one does have like probably what Yellow played. Yeah, literally what Yellow played. Let's see, another Drago playing the Gudra and the Haxorus. We got another Bayonet Guardy here. We got Tropicos Dusknoir once again playing the 1/1 Regidrago in the deck for that Legacy Star. Basically, the idea is you can use Legacy Star to get like 2 cards back. You're not going to attack with it, obviously. Another Bayonet. Then we got Ancient Box in day 2. I didn't think Ancient Box was great for this tournament, but, the one in day 2 is cool to see nonetheless. It does have the Great Tusk, so it kind of pivots more towards like the mill approach of the deck as opposed to just aggro Koraidon. We got Rahul once again in day 2 with the Lugia 60 he's been playing. Guardy with a Rabska is interesting. So it's the Turbo Gardevoir. Well, not Turbo Gardevoir, sorry, but it's Gardevoir with Rabska. It does have the Fez in there. I saw the Fez and Dippity and thought it was Turbo, but there's no Fluttermane. But it does play the Rabska. Rabska obviously beat really good against Drago because you can deny Kyurem and Dragapult damage. Then we got our first look at the Palkia deck here. The Jet Palkia deck is called with the Volbeat. Didn't know there's an Illumise in the deck. Like the one that shuffles the Pokemon back in the deck. But this Jet Palkia deck's really strong. It's just a nice big beat stick attacker deck. And then, again, you have the Noctowl engine for consistency. Another Dragapult Dusknoir here. We got another Snorlax. This one does play Rotom. Also playing the Regieleki in the deck there. Another Lugia playing the Klefki in the deck. Another Snorlax below it playing the Rotom. Just have Sandshrew in the deck. We got Xander Pro on the Raging Bolt with the Quad Charms. And then we got another Lost Zone here, played by Lucas Singh, who just played it like kind of like how the Louisville list played, just the hands and the Blood Moon in the deck. No other flashy attackers, no Fez or anything, just straightforward Lost Box stuff. Another Tropicos Dusknoir here. No Bufflon or Manaphy. Playing Rain Alakazam. That's interesting. I guess that's a bit more, yeah, I guess lets you set up more like checkmatey plays. Another Raging Bolt with the Quad Charms. We got another Charizard here. We got the Charizard Tropicos deck once again doing pretty good. Just crazy deck, crazy deck. Another Lost Box here with the Iron Valiant. Is this same 60s Fabrizio? No, it's a bit different, but same concept as what Fabrizio played. Then we got another Tropicos Dusknoir here. Another Palkia Dusk. Nothing too crazy going on that list. Another Raging Bolt with an Iona and a Briar. Another Tropicos Dusknoir with the Boofs. We got another Turbo Guardy here, it looks like, with the Secret Box. Another Zard Pidgeot playing the first stamp. See if there's anything cool in any of these lists. Like anything different, right? Another Snorlax playing the Regieleki. Another Tropicos Dusknoir there. Another Zard with the unfair stamp. Ooh, Magma Basin's interesting. I guess Magma Basin lets you attack with the Radiant Charizard. You can also use it on your Charmander as an extra energy attachment before you rare candy. You like promote Pidgeot, Basin to Charmander. So it like saves you from having to play a Super Rod, which is kind of cool. And again, it lets you be more aggressive with the Radzard. Kind of neat stuff. Snorlax, we might have looked at that actually. Am I trolling? Yeah, okay, hold on. I went back a little bit. Another Raging Bolt. We got another Cloth below it. Yeah, Cloth doing pretty good. A lot of Cloth in day 2. Crazy to see. Another Drago with just the normal stuff. We got a Lost Dragapult in day 2. That's something I didn't expect to see. Lost Pult. I mean, it might be better than normal Sablezard, though. Who knows? Lost Pult getting day 2 is kind of cool to see. Just play 3 Pokestops. So it does have a little bit more of a turbo engine going on in the deck. I mean, I always like this deck. I don't think it's, like, very, like, strong or good right now, but it's cool to see someone in day 2 with it. It's a cool deck. I mean, it's just like a buffed-up version of Sablezard, right? Another Tropicos Dusknoir. Another Raging Bolt. Let's see. We got another Regidrago. Another Palkia Dusk. And then, the Regidrago below that with the Noctowl. And then we got 3 more Palkia Dusknoir. So, or actually, no, maybe not. This one was Palkia Terapagos with the Illumise in the deck here. No Volbeat. Did play a 1-1 Bibarel for a bit of extra draw and has a Klefki in the deck. They're all Palkia. I don't know why I said Dusknoir. Maybe I'm not fully awake yet from my 10-hour flight. We got another Palkia Noctowl. There's a lot of Palkia stuff. This one was Palkia Noctowl, but didn't play the bugs in the deck. Put Mega Davidson there. I think that same 60 got second place in seniors. Another Regidrago, looks like another Turbo Guardy here. Oh, maybe no, that was a slower Guardy. And then we got another Lost Box. This one did have the Roaring Moon in the deck, and the Fizzipity, and the Raikou. A lot more going on. The Roaring Moon's not bad, though. Again, just helps against stuff like Charizard, and just Roaring Moon can be a big attacker sometimes to deal with, and it can win you the game when you just have an immediate, response. We got a Lugia with a Luxray in the deck, something you haven't really seen in a while. Also playing Serena and Thornton, so a lot of spice in this list. Luxray's cool, I guess, like the Mirror and against Pidgeot. Got another Zard, playing Unfair Stamp. Another Raging Bolt. Another Tropicos Dusk with, the Dubo Boof. The Boofs. Another Turbo Guardy. Or, no, that was not Turbo Guardy. It had an Unfair Stamp in the deck. Another Zard, playing Unfair Stamp. Oh, that's the Pekka in the deck, so I guess that's how you beat Control. Playing double Clone Petron. Really teched out for Snorlax. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, teched out for Snorlax. We got, oh my god. Raging Bolt with a Kyurem. Yo, it's kind of genius, though, against Lost Boxes. When you're playing against Raging Bolt, you never bench Manaphy. But when they have a Kyurem, they can steal a game from you, which is kind of funny. That's crazy. Raging Bolt Kyurem in day 2 is funny. Another Zard with the Cologne Unfair Stamp. They got another Raging Bolt here. Lugia, once again, just playing the Wellspring and the Cinchinos. Another Goldengo in day 2, happy to see that. This one does have Enhanced Hammer to help against Lugia. I do like that idea. Enhanced for Temple and Goldengo. Another Cloth in day 2. Holy Cloths, man. Cloth's kind of crazy. And we got a bunch of Raging Bolt here to look at real quick. Just kind of quickly go through these decks here. See if there's anything crazy in these Raging Bolts. This one's got Crispin and Noctowl in the deck. Cool to see. And we got another Raging Bolt below it. Another Tropicos Dusknoir, doing Tropicos Dusknoir things. Another Cloth. Yeah, Cloth ended up being pretty good. Will it be good in the Surging Sparks meta, though? Honestly, yeah, it probably beats Pikachu, right? Because you can break the ability with Poison. Another Dragapult Dusk. No Lugia here. The whole deck, it looks like the Light Energy in the deck. Then we got another Snorlax with Rotom, plays Pidgeot V. Another Guardy here. Just another... Well, it's Turbo Guardy, but there's no research or anything. But yeah, another Gardevoir. I mean, Lugia with the Raikou. No Lightning. And we got a Lugia with no Raikou. We got a couple more Raging Bolts here to quickly look at. Let's see. Raging Bolts. This one's got Sandy Shocks and Lumineon, so did cut the Solar Wing out. And we got another Dragapult. This one's got Radiant Charizard over Radiant Kazam. I do like that idea. It would help a little bit more into the Raging Bolt matchup, which is one of Dragapult's first matchup. And then we got another Dragapult Pidgeot with a 1-1 Pidgey. I kind of like that. Instead of going heavy on the Pidgeot, just a 1-1 line. Also plays Team Evo, so that's interesting. And then we got a Quad Thorns here. And then another Lugia. Kind of crazy to see Lugia, kind of underperform this tournament, considering it was pretty well positioned, I think. I guess Lugia did struggle in the Tropicos decks with Bouffalant. Yeah, this probably was a bit of a big deal for the deck, I guess. That was kind of the main thing. Another Guardy and the Lugia. And then finally we got 2 more Quad Thorns here to round out day 2 here at LAIC. So yeah, there was the day 2 meta at LAIC. Overall, nothing too crazy. I think the biggest surprise was Cloth doing good, and then also that Charizard Terapagos deck. That looked kind of scary. But yeah, this was definitely the tournament for Regidrago. Just dominated the tournament. Goldengo top 4 is cool. And I mean, this might not be the last we see of Goldengo doing good at major tournaments because, again, the Surging Sparks meta Goldengo deck looks pretty darn good. But yeah, nothing too surprising this weekend. I guess the big shocks was Lost Box incorporating the Iron Valiant, which is really cool. And again, the Tropicos Dusknoir and stuff. But yeah, that was the LAIC day 2 meta. And yeah, let me know what you think of the meta down below. Again, we are heading into a new format with Surging Sparks, but again, with some new cards coming out, we'll have to see if the format shakes up a little bit, because we could still be in a meta where all these decks we just looked at are still going to be pretty strong. Regidrago's still good in the Surging meta, Goldengo's good, Charizard probably good too if Miraidon gets more popular. We'll have to see where it all goes heading into Sacramento, which is literally next weekend, which I cannot wait for. definitely excited to see what goes down in Sacramento. Got some SAC content going out very soon. We'll talk a little bit about the meta tier lists and stuff a bit later, but I wanted to get this video out here and recap my tournament. Again, Brazil was an awesome time. You know, maybe next year we'll go again and experience Brazil because it was a great time. Really liked Brazil a lot. So happy to go and happy to play at LAIC for the first time. So a lot of fun. Hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. Again, we're on the road to 19,000 subs, and I'll catch you on another video here very soon. Bye-bye.